Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de. So we just had a Super Bowl halftime show that was mostly in Spanish. Uh, so today's rant's about how I feel about that as an immigrant personally, but one that doesn't speak Spanish really. So, hey, I'll jump back here. So the Super Bowl happened last weekend. I love that for once the most important thing about the game was the halftime show controversy, apparently, for the biggest, grandest American capitalism holiday. We had an artist who unabashedly sang in the language that most of the audience probably didn't understand, okay? I was one of those people, and well, the controversy was that the whole MAGA Americans wanted to prop up their own halftime show in protest. It was silly because, the opposition headliner was a doofus, so of course, nobody cared or watched that one. But I did find myself in a curious place, okay? I am also an immigrant and I had to learn English, but here was Bad Bunny, a actual born American because he luckily was born into the country in Puerto Rico, but a real American who doesn't perform in English. I mean, that's weird, right? Why the heck did I learn this language for? Are we supposed to be proud of the fact that we can't speak the language most people in the world want to learn? Is that the objection? Is it un-American? Now, for once, I can at least understand a sliver of the other side's argument, so I'm gonna work through how I felt when I watched this Bad Bunny show, okay? An artist that's, probably introduced to the mainstream well past my musical loving years, so yeah, this should be fun. If you enjoy some random rants from a dude with no production skills, clearly like, subscribe, share, comment, or whatever. I'll be great regardless because I just do these for funsies. Hit that bell icon. I have no idea what that is, but I'm asking you guys to do something that I rarely do on this platform. That's right. I am a casual hypocrite about a minor internet detail. So I think the primary thing watching this halftime show is I felt like it was like watching a Puerto Rican Day parade, but for like the rest of the country. Okay, that's the best way that I can describe it. Okay, I guess because I grew up in New York City, I actually really enjoyed accidentally happening upon random ethnic day parades, right? Either in person or just when you're flipping through the television on a random Sunday. I don't think it's an experience that happens that often, but it does happen. However, I think when it does, it feels pretty special. It's cool. I love how I can feel like I've stepped into a different world. The dancing are a bit different than what I normally see, as do the, look of the people who perform them. But isn't that what's great about the US of A, or even America, if I dare to say it that way? The reality is that I realize that most Americans in this country, though, have never had a chance to accidentally discover a culture that is close-ish to what we would normally see, but also different, right? So this halftime show, felt like a coming out party for Puerto Rican Day Parade for the rest of the country. For the parts of the USA that sadly do not have, anything randomly fun, like these kind of parades would give you in a major city. I mean, let's be clear, most of Middle America is rather bland, so I think this injection of other, but still Western culture would be a welcome reprieve, no? I mean, to the rest of the world, by which I mean like to the Asian people and the African people, Bad Bunny show is still mostly full of continental American people. I mean, he even makes that very clear with the whole God Bless America message right at the end. Second thing that I thought of as I was listening to this show is, does, what language they sing in really matter in pop music? It's mostly just for the vibes. Let me be honest, most of us are 50% or more wrong on English song lyrics. So yeah, I think vibes is sufficient. I mean, we have had Hispanic artists that were main acts in the Super Bowl before. Shakira, anybody remember? I think J-Lo as well, right? I mean, for Shakira, I know she sang in English for some of her albums, but that lady's really, totally, actually South American, and her mother tongue absolutely was not English, and her Spanish songs just sounds more natural, okay? As to the objection that, Super Bowls should somehow feature American artists or like, care about American artists more, I mean, what? That's just silly. Didn't Paul McCartney perform at the Super Bowl? I mean, that guy definitely not American, right? I went back to just to look at, the last 20 years or so. There's Rihanna, Black Eyed Peas, Coldplay, whole bunch. Okay, maybe they all sang in English, but I know I couldn't tell. Have you ever heard Rihanna sing? Like, I have no idea what she's saying most of the time, even when she's singing in English, except umbrella, Ella, right? What? Yeah, but we still love it, okay? I enjoy the Bad Bunny production mostly because it's a whole entire vibe. He is clearly representing what his culture is like, right? Specific types of dancing and celebration. Who cares how much of it I can sing along to? In this case, very little. I mean, maybe if I was younger and actually cared about pop music, I would care more. But I know, the Spanish stuff is hot now. Remember, this can't be a surprise to the idiots of this country. Remember Despacito, right? Another Spanish song that I personally was like, what do I care about this? But it was super popular, right? Billion views on YouTube. This is just the times. You get with it, or you shut up. Now, finally, the real kicker is, was I excited to see Bad Bunny? Not really, because I didn't know who this guy was, okay? Not because of the language thing, but because, I don't know, because I'm old, obviously, and that's actually totally okay with me, okay? I remember a few years ago, by the way, it was the hip-hop Super Bowl show, and plenty of people my age, they were very excited, except for me, because when I was young, I did not care about hip-hop, so yes, I knew who those artists were, but that doesn't really mean anything to me. If I didn't like the music, I didn't like it when I was young, and I don't like it much more now, okay? But my point is a more positive one, which is like, hey, I'm open to listening to music that maybe it's not exactly my thing. I mean, NFL is only picking very, very popular artists that appeal to some significant section of the demographic, right? They're not really aimed at specific age groups, all right? And they really wouldn't pick anybody that didn't already come in with a giant built-in audience. So I have seen the halftime show, obviously. Do I think it's the best ever? No, not at all, but that's likely because I had zero emotional attachment to any of Bad Bunny's songs. I did enjoy the vibe. I thought it was a cool party atmosphere, and it's not really all I can hope for in any Super Bowl halftime show, that it's a party. So, in conclusion, I was honestly confused about the objection to a Spanish language show. It's not like this happens often, or let's be clear, ever. Like, it is one time, a single time. Is that a big problem? To give Spanish-speaking artists a chance to shine one time in 60 Super Bowls? I mean, why wouldn't that be okay? He even pulled Lady Gaga to be a cameo, okay, to sing in English. I thought that was perfect. Everybody knows Gaga, okay? She sings in English. Artists can collaborate across language barriers because art is art, right? So what did you guys think about the show? I mean, I enjoyed it despite not knowing a single Bad Bunny song prior, and probably post, okay? I mean, if I was without prejudice going in, I can't see why I couldn't have finished watching the show without bopping my head. That's all I think is relevant for a party time show, okay? Cheers. A la prochaine.